Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Personal Growth Talks podcast. I'm your host, Jason, and today, as always, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Julia. How's it going, Julia?
Hi, Jason. I'm doing great, and I'm really looking forward to today's topic. It's something we all deal with, but don't talk about enough. How about you? How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Julia. And you're so right. This is one of those topics that can truly transform the way we approach life if we take the time to understand it. Today, we're diving into the importance of taking risks in life. And let's be honest, just the thought of taking risks can make a lot of people nervous, right?
Absolutely, Jason. Risks can feel scary because they come with uncertainty, and no one likes the idea of failing. But here's the thing. If we avoid taking risks altogether, we might miss out on some of the greatest opportunities life has to offer.
Exactly. I love this quote by Mark Zuckerberg. The biggest risk is not taking any risk. It's such a powerful reminder that staying in our comfort zones might actually be the riskiest choice of all. What do you think about that, Julia?
That's a great point, Jason. Comfort zones are nice. They're safe and familiar, but they can also hold us back. Growth happens when we challenge ourselves and try new things, even if there's a chance we might fail.
Couldn't agree more. In today's podcast, we'll be exploring why people tend to avoid risks, the incredible benefits of stepping out of your comfort zone, and how you can take risks in a smart and calculated way. By the end of our chat, we hope you'll feel more confident about embracing risks in your own life.
Yes? And we'll also share some practical tips and inspiring examples to help you understand how risks can open doors you didn't even know existed. So, whether you're thinking about changing your career, starting a new hobby, or simply trying something you've never done before, this episode is for you.
That's right. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's get started. So, Julia, let's start by talking about why people tend to avoid taking risks. What do you think holds most people back?
That's a great question, Jason. I think one of the biggest reasons is fear of failure. Nobody likes the idea of trying something and not succeeding. It can feel embarrassing, and for some, it's even discouraging enough to not try at all.
True, the fear of failure can be paralyzing. And on top of that, there's also the fear of judgment. People worry about what others will think if they don't succeed. Have you noticed how much pressure society puts on us to always look like we've got everything under control?
Absolutely. Social pressure is a big factor, but it's not just fear of failure or judgment. Another big one is fear of uncertainty. Taking risks means stepping into the unknown, and that's a scary place for a lot of people. It's natural to want to stick to what feels safe and predictable.
That's so true. Our brains are actually wired to avoid uncertainty. It's a survival instinct. But sometimes that instinct keeps us from trying new things or taking a leap that could lead to something amazing.
Exactly. And I think another reason people avoid risks is that they don't want to lose what they already have. It's the better safe than sorry mindset. But in reality, staying too safe can mean missing out on bigger rewards.
That's such a good point. So fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of uncertainty, and fear of losing what we have, these are all valid fears. But the key is recognizing that growth doesn't happen without taking some risks. And that's what we're going to unpack next. All right, Julia, now that we've talked about why people avoid risks, let's shift gears and talk about the benefits. Why is taking risks so important?
Taking risks is essential because it's how we grow and move forward in life. When you step out of your comfort zone, you challenge yourself to learn new skills and adapt to new situations. That's where real personal growth happens.
Exactly. And I think one of the biggest benefits is the potential for new opportunities. When you take a chance, you open the door to possibilities you might never have considered before. For example, think about people who've started their own businesses or taken a chance on a career change. It's scary, but it often leads to amazing opportunities.
Absolutely, Jason. Another benefit is building resilience. Even if a risk doesn't work out the way you hoped, you gain valuable experience and learn how to handle challenges. Those lessons make you stronger and better prepared for the future.
That's so true, Julia. I love how risks also help boost your confidence. Every time you take a risk and succeed, even in a small way, it builds your belief in your own abilities. You start to realize you're capable of more than you thought.
Yes, and I'd add that taking risks often leads to self discovery. When you try something new, you learn more about yourself, your strengths, your passions, and even your limits. It's such a powerful way to grow as a person.
Exactly. And let's not forget breaking through limitations. Taking risks helps you overcome the mental blocks that tell you, I can't do this. For example, how many people have thought they couldn't learn a new language, but after taking the risk to try, they end up succeeding and opening up new worlds for themselves?
That's a great example, Jason. And sometimes taking risks can lead to unexpected rewards. Maybe you try something you weren't sure about, like applying for a job you don't feel qualified for, and then you get it. And it changes your life in ways you never imagined.
Exactly. It's that element of surprise. When taking a leap of faith brings rewards you didn't even anticipate. So to sum up, taking risks can lead to new opportunities, build resilience, boost confidence, help with self-discovery, and even bring unexpected rewards. Honestly, the benefits outweigh the fears most of the time.
Couldn't agree more, Jason. And here's something to keep in mind. Even when risks don't work out, they're rarely wasted. You always learn something valuable that helps you in the future. That's why it's so important to take that first step, even if it feels scary.
Absolutely. So, to all our listeners, think about this. What's one risk you've been avoiding, and how could taking it potentially benefit you? Keep that in mind as we move on to how you can take as calculated risks without feeling overwhelmed. All right, Julia, we've talked about the fears and the benefits of taking risks, but let's be real, not every risk is worth taking. The key is to take calculated risks. How do you think people can approach this?
Great question, Jason. The first step is to evaluate the potential outcome. Ask yourself, what's the best case scenario? What's the worst case scenario? And can I handle the worst case outcome if things don't go as planned?
That's such a smart way to think about it, Julia. It helps you focus on the real risk instead of just your fears. Another important step is to do your research. Learn as much as you can about the situation before diving in. For example, if you're thinking about starting a business, look into the market, potential customers, and costs involved.
Exactly. Preparation can make a huge difference. I'd also say it's important to start small. You don't have to take a massive risk right away. Break it down into smaller steps and tackle one piece at a time. This makes it feel less overwhelming.
That's a great point, Julia. Small, manageable steps help build momentum. And I'd add one more tip, have a backup plan. It doesn't mean you're expecting to fail, but knowing you have a plan B can give you more confidence to take that leap.
Absolutely, Jason. And let's not forget the importance of trusting yourself. At some point, you have to stop overthinking and just take the leap. Even if things don't go perfectly, you'll learn and grow from the experience.
Well said, Julia. So to all our listeners, take your time to assess the risks, prepare yourself, start small, have a backup plan, and most importantly, believe in yourself. Taking calculated risks doesn't mean being reckless. It means being brave with a plan.
That's right, Jason. And once you start taking those small, calculated risks, you'll find it gets easier to tackle bigger ones. It's all about building confidence step by step.
Exactly. Coming up next, we'll wrap things up with some key takeaways and a little motivation to help you start taking risks today. All right, Julia, we've had such a great conversation about the importance of taking risks in life, why people avoid them, the incredible benefits, and how to take calculated risks. What's your biggest takeaway from today's discussion?
For me, it's that taking risks is essential for growth. It's not about being reckless, but about stepping out of your comfort zone with a plan. Even when risks don't work out, they bring valuable lessons and help you discover what you're truly capable of.
Absolutely. And I'd add that the biggest rewards in life, whether it's a fulfilling career, meaningful relationships, or personal achievements, usually come from taking that leap of faith. So if you're waiting for a sign to take that risk, consider this your sign.
Yes. And remember, every small step you take builds your confidence to take bigger steps in the future. Don't let fear hold you back from exploring the amazing opportunities that are out there.
Exactly. So to all our listeners, here's our challenge for you. Think about one risk you've been avoiding. It could be starting a new project, reaching out to someone, or even just trying something new. Take the first step toward it this week and let us know how it goes in the comments or on our social media.
That's right. We'd love to hear your stories and cheer you on. And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and share this episode with someone who might need a little push to take their own risks.
Thanks for joining us today on the Personal Growth Talks podcast. Remember, life's biggest rewards often lie on the other side of fear. Take that leap, and you might just surprise yourself.
Until next time, take care and keep growing. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone, and see you in the next episode.